We are here until 6 o'clock and we're just currently chatting about lots of things. We're just kind of chilling around the table. Lots of people walking by. There's a child with a bag. Could you tell us what's in your bag? Because there's been a lot of people queuing for stuff here. I'm not quite sure what this is about. So we're just kind of sitting here watching people eat ice cream. Hello. What flavour is your ice cream? What flavour is it? Is it just... Is it okay? It looked like a meat-based ice cream. It looked like it could be anything really. There's some snackage going around. There's some dates. I don't do dates actually. I'm in a relationship right now. I'm not really into that. Yes, thank you. Well timed. Hello, you guys. Hello, sir. How? That's okay. You can still sit down. It's okay. Look. Okay. See, I know some words. Hello, girls. So here we are. So we can take this conversation. Oh, literally, you should be here, basically. So this is a Talkaoke. We can take this conversation in any shape, direction we want to. There's some people walking by. How is the festival so far, you guys? Is it good? Have you just arrived? We will never know. We will never know what they think of the festival.
I was thinking we could actually do a sign language Talkaoke at some point. Like someone would have to have some sort of device. Like the microphone is a device for talking, so you need some sort of device for signing, I guess, in future. Maybe a light.
Okay, so here's a conversation about could a talk show work in sign language? I don't know if we've got any experts on sign language around the table. Anybody? Maybe any people around further afield. Hello, you guys. Welcome. We are a pop-up talk show. You are welcome to join us. We're just currently chatting about what's happening at the festival and what people have been doing. Hello, sir. Are you a traveller? You look like you've come from far away. Hello, madam. Come and tell us where you've come from today.
No, down the road, East Ham. East
Ham. Is there a bit of a clash between East Ham and Newham? What I mean, is the name a coincidence? Is there a relation? Come and explain, because I'm actually not from here. That's okay. Have you just arrived at the festival? What are you looking to do? See you guys. What are you looking to experience here? Would you just tell us? We are a pop-up talk show. It's basically very simple. Okay. Okay, have a good afternoon. Goodbye. So we had people from East Ham, we had people from Newham, and I actually noticed people pronounce Newham and Newham. Which one is correct? Excuse me, girl with a pink rucksack. Can you answer my question? Is it Newham or Newham? How do you say it?
I think Newham.
Newham. And do you know where the name comes from?
No.
Are you from Newham yourself?
No.
Where are you from then?
Wait, actually, yeah.
You are? Comes with a hesitation. Whereabouts are you from? It's okay. Basically, this is a Newham show. Have you just arrived or have you been here for a while? Just arrived?
Just arrived.
Okay, what are you looking to do at this festival, which brings people of Newham, maybe Old Ham, I don't know, all sorts of hams, together? What are you here to do?
Enjoy myself.
Enjoy yourself. Okay, I think we can get on board with that. So that's very good. You can join us. This is a pop-up talk show. We can talk about anything you want. We were talking about being a volunteer. We were talking about litter picking. We were talking about parents being not very good at parenthood. The children should be parents instead. We were talking about maybe should Talkaoke be done through sign language. I don't know if you've got any kind of knowledge around the table about that. I certainly do not have this knowledge, but I'm happy to take this conversation anywhere we like. There's a child looking at us. Hello, madam. Nice trousers. So I wondered whether you have any questions that you've been thinking about this week that you haven't quite answered. Maybe we can help answering them together. Hello there. Is there anything on your mind, sir, right now? Is there anything that you've been thinking about lately? We're a pop-up talk show. We can talk about it, you know. Have you just come to the Newham Show? Come and join us. Come and have a little sit down. Come and have a little sit down. Or carry on walking, that's fine as well. Do you have any questions that you wanted to talk about?
Not really.
Okay, you can just sit here and we can just talk about anything we want. So we had some bag searches at the beginning of this. Did your bag get searched?
Pardon?
Did your bag get searched on the way in?
Yeah.
Okay, and did they find anything that would compromise your, would make it difficult for you to enter?
Yeah, a water bottle.
What was a water bottle? Did you have to dispose of it?
It looked like glass, but it was actually plastic.
I wonder whether these guys, did you guys get your bag searched on the way in here? And what do you think about that? Is security slightly overboard these days? No. Is it good? We've had very different opinions on this table. So what do you think about the levels of security here?
Good.
Come and get involved. This is a pop-up talk show. We're just talking about anything you guys want to talk about. This girl just left. What are you doing? You off? Okay, I see. Well, let me know, let me just ask you this. Are you from Newham? So is it Newham or Newham?
Newham.
Which one? It's kind of in between.
Newham.
You need to say it on the mic because I'm struggling, as you can.
Newham.
Oh, so there is an H, and is that how you say it?
Newham.
Okay, is it a generation thing then? Okay.
Is it a rhyme? Does it? Why is it called Newham? No idea. Is it something? Is it? But is it? Were there pigs here? Was it pig farming or something like that? Is it? A hamlet, a town, hamlet. It's a new town.
Do you agree with that?
I don't even know what he means.
Okay, see you later. Okay.
My favourite thing about ham for Hamlet is there's a place in Kent called Sandwich, and there's a place called Deal, and the little place in the middle of it is called Ham.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing.
Okay, so what do you think about food-based village names?
Ham Sandwich Deal, yeah, exactly.
So why is sandwich called sandwich? I mean, like the edible sandwich. Why is that after the place?
I think the term sandwich comes from a person who created the first sandwich. So he was playing cards and he wanted to have some roast beef, but he didn't want to stop playing cards. So he was like, can you just put it between two bits of bread so I can have my sandwich? And he was the Earl of Sandwich.
Okay, did you know where sandwich comes from? The idea of a sandwich. We're just discussing that. We're talking about favourite foods. Do you have a favourite food?
Not really.
No, do you have a food that you particularly dislike?
I can't think off the top of my head. No.
Okay. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the types of food that you don't like?
I don't know. Maybe. African foods.
African food. So is it a thumbs up or kind of? Really? Okay. What is it about African food? We had some controversial opinions earlier about putting curry on a pizza. Would you eat such thing?
I don't like curry. No.
Really? What about pizza? Curry on pizza, sir? Let me just ask this man. Gentleman there with the pram. Curry on pizza. Come and get involved. This is a pop-up talk show, so we can talk about anything we want. So you don't like curry?
Sorry?
You don't like curry?
No, I don't like Indian food either.
Okay, so what kinds of food might you like?
Pizza. But I'm not too fond of pizza. But I like pizza. I like a little bit. I like it a little bit. I don't know. I just eat whatever.
That's a very interesting point because pizza is usually, come and get involved, just have a little pew for a few minutes. The more people we have at the table, the more conversation we will be having. But it's very interesting because burgers and pizzas, I thought that everybody can get on board with this, but you're saying you can take it or leave it. So is it true that people in England maybe don't like adventurous foods? That's what I heard. People in England maybe, English.
I suppose I like West Indian food. I like like patty.
I like patty, yeah.
And you're a keen cook yourself? I mean, that actually goes for anyone who does any kind of cooking. Hello, madam, do you do a lot of cooking at home? Because we're talking about people's favorite foods and curry on pizza. Guys, would you ever have a Boaster? Hello. Curry on pizza, is it yes or is it a no? Why? No, please, you need to explain. Sorry.
Or baked beans on pizza.
Sounds delicious to me. Come and explain why. I don't understand.
There's something that should not match.
It should not match. What if...
But I was saying you could put anything on pizza. You could put cereal on pizza if you wanted to. Ice cream on pizza would be really tasty. Watermelons on pizza.
I'll tell you what's nice. Ice creams and chips.
Ice creams and chips in one. Sir, I've got a question for you. We just had a suggestion that ice cream and pizza. No, ice cream and chips. By the way, can I just say what your name was? What's your name? Never mind, but I'll see you later. Have a good one. So guys, chips and ice cream, come and get involved. Come and tell us about your favorite or controversial foods that you guys have had or would like to try. But before we do, let's do a round of names and you guys can get involved as well. We've got some people around the table. What are your names?
Rick.
Kane.
Charisse.
Trey.
Boaster.
Evie. And I'm Margot, and this is Talkaoke. This is a pop-up talk show, so you guys are on it. So you are currently being televised here onto our website. So tell us about your most favourite or controversial foods.
Mine is pineapple and ham.
Is it East Ham or West Ham?
Normal ham.
Normal ham, okay. Pineapple and ham, what do people think about that? Because that divides people.
On pizza, yeah, but not like just normally together.
Okay, outside of the pizza context, not really. You are really strongly disagree. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you get a big piece of gammon and you can get pineapple on that, and that's really nice.
Gammon and pineapple, but you were shaking your head. Why?
I don't like pineapple.
What's wrong? What has pineapple ever done to you to kind of deserve your... Oh, we can talk now. So pineapple, no, just full stop, no pineapple.
No pineapple on a pizza.
Okay, so what is your most controversial food? Okay, pineapple and ham. Any kind of ham?
Pineapple, that's like one of my favourite fruits.
Okay, so what do you think about that, Boaster? What's your favourite food then?
My favourite fruit is... I don't have one because they're all my favourite.
All of them? Okay, that's a good answer.
I hate watermelon.
You hate? Is it like a real hatred, the kind of like...
I only like it when it's frozen.
Okay, frozen water. Do you guys like frozen watermelon? Do you like frozen watermelon? No, not sure. We're talking about people's favourite foods, and apparently chips and ice cream. That's a good combo. Who knew? We've got a new person around the table. What's your name?
Gillian.
Gilliam, nice to meet you. I'm Margot. We've got Trey. We've got Charisse. We've got Boaster. We've got Evie. We've got Rick, and we've got Kane. And you are still you. So I want to come to you because I feel like you've got some kind of thing on your mind that you want to share right now about your favourite food.
One of my weirdest food combinations is cheese and jam.
But is it weird good or weird not so good?
Like weird good.
Okay, any particular type of cheese? And
just normal cheddar.
okay, what do you? Okay, Kane, is that something that you do yourself?
I like the principle of it. I mean, I had peanut butter and jam sandwiches yesterday, and that was really good. And also, when I was little, my favourite thing was to get white bread and put banana inside it and crisps. It's a good combination, really good. We used to feed it to my friend's tortoise as well.
Okay, yeah.
I was eating some cereal, then there was this weird combo with multigrain hoops, pineapple, some other stuff, and white chocolate.
How did that work out for you then?
I didn't try it, but I thought it was really weird.
Okay, is that something that you would try? I mean, like it's quite a combination, no?
It's tempting, but no.
You sound quite resolved. What kind of thing would... Hello, sir, you can come and join us for a conversation. Talking about most controversial food we've ever tasted. So what is your kind of guilty pleasure food that you enjoy?
If I had a sweet tooth, I would go for peanut and chocolate. I put that on bread, put that on everything. It's great. Yeah, it's on cereal as well. There's such nice cereal. The Lion cereal, amazing. But then, if it's fruit, I would go for mango myself.
Okay, a mango in a sandwich with a sausage, maybe a bit of a pizza. No, you don't.
I have something else that's nice. Peanut butter and Oreos.
Okay, that's a lot of combinations. But you guys, you weren't here earlier, but we had a lady on the table. She was a parent, and she was saying she doesn't eat any vegetables or fruit. Her children do. She doesn't, so she sets a bad example, and she's totally cool with it. And then we had young people, saying that they actually would make better parents than their actual parents. Have you got any views on this? Would you be a better parent to yourself or to your sibling than your actual parents? Feel like you've got something to say there. Oh, Rick?
I'd be a terrible parent to myself, I think.
Why? What makes you think that? That's it. What about you guys? I mean, yeah, you've got any views?
Yes.
You are welcome to share them, because guess what? This is a pop-up talk show and everyone is welcome to share their opinions. Even the gentleman over there, even Evie waving here, and even this lady here. Would you ever, apparently children make better parents than parents themselves. Do you agree or do you disagree? You agree?
No, I disagree.
You disagree? No, come and tell us about it. Guys, budge up so the lady can have a... No, it's okay. This is a pop-up talk show. Why do you think kids will make terrible parents? There's a generation here listening.
I don't know. I don't really know why. No, it's experience, is it? They're not experienced, to be honest.
You're right. It's interesting that you say that, because some of the young people said that they are more kind of out and about. They kind of know reality a little bit better than their parents.
I feel like they would make better parents, because parents they have other generations, and we are in the same generation as our children, so we would more likely relate.
Okay, so you're still kind of reinforcing that point. So do you think actually a bit more of current... Come and join us. This is where your children are, so they're safe. But apparently the view that your children hold, maybe controversially, is that they would make a better parent than parents themselves. This lady disagrees. By the way, what's your name?
Oh, Josie.
Josie, shall we do a round of names? What's your name? You're a new person.
Kanika.
Kanika, come and have a sit down, because I feel like you may have some opposing contributions to make. But yeah.
What are you asking me?
My question is, your child would make a better parent than you. Discuss.
Why would you say that? Why would you feel that? It was you. I know it was you. Why do you feel that?
It was just it was just a general chat on the table, you know. I kind of spun it around.
I think they probably think that because as we're older, we have done everything that they think that they don't think we would have done. So everything I do is within reason, but I'm fair. My thing is trust. I'll give you all the trust. You break it, it's over. And that is it. So with her, Sharice is 13, going on 14. Well, you're 13 now, you're 14 at the end of the month, in November, right? So I know she's going to push the boundaries. I know she is, but I've already done it.
Exactly, so you kind of know what's coming, basically. And do you feel, how old are you, and what's your name, by the way?
12, and I'm Collins.
What's your name?
Collins.
Collins, so Collins, are you at this age that you feel like you're pushing boundaries? I feel maybe you are in that age?
Yes.
You are? Okay, interesting. How are your parents feeling with that? Are your parents okay with that?
I'm not sure.
That's fair enough. You've got something to...
Well, I say, like, she makes a reasonable point saying that we would push the boundaries, but then also, like, if, like, we get a bad grade, you go, like, back in my day, we would only get straight A's. Never that.
Is this true? Okay.
I had Sharice when I was 17. So there's a very different generation. I don't put the pressure that you have to come in with A's, but what I do expect is 100% in everything. So if you've given me all of your effort and you've tried your best and you just get a C, then that's fine. But if you're telling me that you haven't tried and you're coming home with a C, there's an issue and we're going to have a problem.
Okay, is this an issue? I mean, are we like, is giving?
I used to complain to my daughter. She's actually just finished. She's just graduating. And I used to say, why are you still playing on a PlayStation at 11 o'clock in the night? I used to go in there fuming. I wanted to go to sleep, and I hear a noise, you know. But she said, "Mum, she's done her revision. She sets her goals. She does so many hours of revision, and then she has her time, and that's her time. So, but she's actually passed her exam. She got two A's. So
okay, so actually staying up late playing computer games, it's fine as long as you've given 100% and you've done your revision. You've got good grades, guys. By the way, just if you're looking, this is a pop-up talk show, so you are on it right now. So you can come and have a little sit down, and you can contribute your views.
But also, like, playing computer games, it also gives you a more focus and more concentration into life in general and into your studies, because you're more concentrating on what you're trying to aim or what you're trying to persistently trying to do.
Okay, computer games are actually quite good for us, but guys, in the meantime, what's happening here? There's like quite a crowd. Yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Yes. This is a Talkaoke Massive. So my name is Margot. What's your name?
Josephine.
Ayub.
Fariha. I'm not.
Gillian.
Cherise.
Renelle.
Okay, Batman.
Kanika.
Trey. Star.
Collins.
Evie.
Kane.
And I'm still me, and there's Rick over there on the camera. No, he's not. He is gone. Anyway, we're here. We've got the most important people here. You can come and join us as well. So, okay, so currently subjects on the table are kids will make better parents than their parents. That's number one. Secondly, back in the day, it was different. Also, if you don't achieve maybe 100%, well, if you put in 100% effort, but actually your grades aren't that good, that's fine because you've... Oh, shall we just move in slightly? Okay, guys, we need to move in. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. So stay out of the rain. This is limited numbers here, but we can stretch this to capacity. It's no problem for us. Is everybody happy, safe, careful of the camera? Okay, fantastic. So we can take this conversation any old way we want to, but I wonder whether you guys had any views about any of these subjects. Parenthood is a tough job. Are you giving 100% as a parent?
Last year, do you remember last?
Yep, it's different in this. Like, it's a different generation, so it's a different ball. It's a different ball game. We've got. We've got like the technological constraints to think about. Gone are the days where it was just old-fashioned, where it was just pen and paper. So it's different. Like it's totally different to how it would have been 1 or 2 generations ago.
Okay, so there's definitely some shifts, and Bosta, I'm going to come to you.
So when my dad and my mum were younger, they got to do whatever they wanted. They get to go out, and but now my dad's really strict. He says I'm not allowed to go out or have a boyfriend or anything like that.
Okay, no boyfriends. I mean, that's a pretty strict rule. I mean, guys, did you have any kind of, restrictions on boyfriends? I'll come back to you. I feel like you can tell us some stories.
When they say like you're not allowed to go out, back then there was less risk and less threat than it's now, because like you can see there's so many attacks, so many things that's going on, so parents are being more not controlling, saying more protective. But then back in the day there was not that much. They were like, you can be in your small neighborhood, you'll know everyone there and everyone will be protecting you.
So I saw you nodding. Is that something that you feel is true? Like, is that something that you think about in relation to your little ones?
Yeah, that's true, because in back days your safety was not an issue, but nowadays if you send your children on their own, it's kind of you're worried about them if they come back home safe or not. This is kind of stuff.
Okay, so that seems to be like quite present.
I think even back in when I was a child, I think parents still worried about you. Yeah. Definitely. But we didn't have. The trouble is today you've got all this technology, all these games, so the children want to stay at home. If I had a park I would have took my boys out to the green. Always. I wouldn't want them on these.
On the game.
And what? Yeah.
It's a very different generation. I think people my age, because I had them quite young. We're the generation of the had and not had. So we had technology and we've also not had technology. And there was a lot of violence then, still there was loads. And I think you have to, it's really hard because if you keep your children in and they don't go out, then when they do go out, they're vulnerable because they're not street smart. They have got to be street smart, but you've got to keep them safe. But we, unfortunately for us, we have to keep them safe outside and online. How are you supposed to do that?
So it's a pretty tough job to be a parent. Are you a parent yourself, madam? Yeah, I can tell. Come closer, we can always budge up. And as it is raining outside and we are a pop-up talk show, you're welcome to come and join. In fact, anyone can come and shelter from the rain. If you guys kind of move to the side so we can get the lady in as well. Darling, if you move somewhere... No, it's raining. Can't really go because I've got a question I need to hit you with. So come closer. So are parents a bit more stricter these days when they're there before? Boaster said her dad is not allowing her to have boyfriends at the age of 13. No boyfriend. Was she?
She's 10.
Okay, no boyfriend at the age of 10. Did you have a boyfriend when you were 10?
No.
Is that something that you would like rule out? You'd like...
Actually, at that time where we were grown up, definitely we never had actually boyfriend at the age until the age of 15. That's the time, that's how we were. But nowadays it's like 9, 10. You have already a couple of boyfriends.
Okay, so when did you have your first boyfriend? Is that something that people just didn't do, boyfriend girlfriends back in the day? Yeah.
My first boyfriend, I was about 13, but with relationships comes other things because I had her at 17. So I don't regret you clearly, but you know what I mean. But I think we have too much energies to tell girls no boyfriends. I hold that same energy for my sons, no girlfriends. Same for boys and girls. You can't just have just for girls. It's not fair. You need to keep that same energy for both of them.
This is interesting. You had your hand up because but I want to include this lady. So guys, is there any room to budge up? And I know that you're here as well. Come closer. You've got a new topic. That is excellent. I'm just going to get this lady's name because you know the rules. You come in, we ask your name and that kind of stuff. What's your name, lady?
Ivana.
Ivana, welcome Ivana. I'm Margot and this is everyone else. Shall we do a round of names whilst you're getting yourself cozy? And then we're going to come to your questions. So around the table we've got...
Kane.
Josie.
Ayub.
Odin. Ayan.
Fariha.
Banu.
Gillian.
Cherise.
Kanika.
Laxania.
Collins.
Ivana.
Great, and there's Rick over there, and I'm Margot. So I just want to include you. What drew you into this conversation? Do you want to tell us about what age you had your first boyfriend? Because that seems to be a convo. And we're coming to you for some new change of conversation.
No, maybe 16.
Is that too old? Is that young enough?
It's okay.
Have you got children yourself?
Yes.
And controversially, children say that they would make better parents than parents. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. At least one grown-up admitting to it. Okay, fantastic. In the meantime, I'm gonna... Yeah?
I think, in a way, yes, even though at the same time, no. Because we tend to forget that we were actually children as well, right? And therefore, they actually do remind us, we are children, you were actually children, do understand what we went through. They're actually reminding, and I think we have to remind ourselves what we went through in order to actually understand them.
Okay, so I want to come to like the younger generation. Can you ever, boys, can you ever imagine your parents being your age?
No.
Because what? No. Do you think that they were born like quite big already?
Yeah.
That's a very interesting proposition and not unfeasible either.
I just think, I think that there is a lot that parents can learn from children, and I wonder whether maybe every family there should be a child who consults, that you have, who comes along, gives advice to the parents about how they should look after their children so that they can be on trends about things like social media and games.
Are you on trend with social media and games? Do you think you'd teach your parents something? Okay, your brother got this, so don't worry, you don't need to speak. We've got your brother here taking care of that.
So the topic that I wanted to address is inequality of girls back in that day, because now it's all equal and all like everyone has their own say. But then back in the day, you've got Rosa Parks. She wasn't allowed to do this. You've got I don't remember her name, but she was the woman that actually found the two helix, and then two men stole it, and then she had her research behind them, thinking that she just evaluated the point instead of actually finding it, which I feel like is unfair, because they have a say and they are human beings. It's like we're us saying that like women and men are split in two. It's just like blacks and whites, colored people. This was like segregation, and I think it's unfair and it's unreasonable for people like that. So that's why women had to fight for rights to vote, rights to do this and that.
So this is quite a lot of information in there, and I think it's very many valid points that you kind of touched on here. And I want to kind of spin around. And what's your name, by the way?
Kim.
Kim, welcome to the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. So we should be more conscious of the fact that men and women are equal. The races are equal. There's not enough going on right now. You were talking about Rosa Parks and that kind of stuff. And do you think the men and women are treated the same these days, or are they still kind of no?
We talk about Equal Opportunity Act, yes, but how much is actually basically followed, right? That's the question. That is a big question, because yes, we have to follow it, but when you actually see the way they actually treat us, and even the workplace, you're like, oh, you are a woman, you're not capable of doing it, but did you ever ask the woman, can you do that? Are you able to do that, right? And that woman actually feels a bit harassed or a bit neglected as well, in a sense, you know.
So you're saying, okay, equality starts at home, kind of thing, kind of starts on a micro level, and then it can be replicated at work and that kind of stuff. You're nodding your head?
Yeah, because I think sometimes it comes down to cultural differences as well. So every different culture has their own aspect to the way they live, but there is a lot of inequality in a lot of things. Like you said, in the workplace, so for us, if we're on maternity leave or you're on part-time, you might not get that promotion because you have to be full-time. But you can't be full-time because your husband's full-time and you got to be part-time for the kids, and that's not always fair as well. It's not fully equal, pay is not equal, and it's getting better, but we're still not there.
There seems to be still a way to go, and I don't know, like, what do you guys think yourselves? And actually, I want to hear from all generations and all genders and that kind of stuff. Are men and women still equal? Have they ever been equal? Can we do a bit more in Newham in particular to bring people together? Is that an issue, or maybe not? Maybe it's just your impression. I don't know. Do you guys have any views on this?
You know, the parents, I think, you know, when you have a boy and you have a girl, it's like parents, when boys crying, the moms or dad, they say, don't cry, girls cry, you're a boy, you should not cry. This is the thing. This is the thing that comes in their mind. Okay, so girls are like that, they cry, we can't cry, boys are stronger. No, it shouldn't be like that. Like, I have 3 boys, but I tell them girls are stronger like you. Like, if you play football, girls can defeat you. Like, it's like that. I think it's the parents, like, since childhood they should tell them it's like equal. They are not 2 different genders, so it's like that.
Okay, I'm just gonna give it a little micro round of applause onto my shoulder. I quite like that. But you wanted to chime in. You wanted to say.
Absolutely, and I think in terms of gender equality and diversity, I think we're in a better place now than where we were before. Because if you're looking back to like generations ago, when you had like the suffragettes, you know, women weren't even allowed to vote. You know, they had to do a lot for the women movement to actually, you know, get where it is. I mean, there's still room for improvement. There's still things that we need to like look at more. But overall, I think, you know, it does actually start from at home, and your parents are the ones that need to instill those values in.
I'm going to pause you there, Ivana. Just before you go, I'm sorry we kind of never got your point, but I wanted to ask you if you had any points about anything that you heard. Is men to women, is that relationship needs improving still? Do you feel like we've got equality in Newham in your life?
Yeah, maybe it's improving. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, I think it's improving.
It's improving. And is that something that you kind of feel like you are working towards yourself in your daily life as well?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. To like eat healthy more and to exercise, to do like things more, to be active.
That's really good. And have you got any final thoughts or any questions you'd like to pose to the table? Because we've got new people joining us, and we've got old, not age old, but people from before, the residue people, which I really like the idea of, and some more people. Is there any questions that you feel like you haven't discussed, that we haven't discussed today, and you'd like to leave us thinking about?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, you've got a point. I'm just going to get your names because you guys just joined to our pop-up talk show. Thank you. Oh, you can't go just yet. Hang on, before you go.
Jaden.
John.
John, okay, we were talking about equality between men and women, so we can get some kind of thoughts going. Apparently, women can play football and boys can cry. Can boys cry? I don't know. Is that allowed? But Kanika, you said something worrying, like I have to go, which is fine.
Kids are hungry, you know. But so that's what's going on. But finally, I just say, if we can all do the same as each other. Some maybe, some not gender-wise, but some individual people might be better at, like for instance, me and my husband, our house is very gender fluid. He cooks, I cook. He's not good at DIY, I am. He does the school run, I do the school run. We have equal, and we do the same with all the kids. They can all cry if they want. I've got one girl, two boys, and we have the same energy for all of them. Hopefully, they'll make them into better adults.
Okay, gender fluid household. I quite like the idea of that. I never came around to get your point, but I feel like I need to do it now. Thank you very much, Kenka.
I think gender equality is improving, but it's not yet the same because, like, if you link it to sport, the people are complaining that the USA team women are doing better than the men, while they still get paid like lower. Like, I think like people, they get like paid less just because they're women, but like that doesn't mean anything. Like, cause they're woman doesn't mean that they don't have the same ability or stuff like that. Like, women can be better than men at football.
So you're saying, you're kind of echoing what Kanika said, which was men and women can do the same things equally. I'm just going to bring the new guys in because you listened to the conversation for a little bit. Hello, madam. We're talking about gender equality and that kind of stuff. So have you got any views about this?
Oh yeah, definitely. My point of view is that gender equality, the question really begs to differ. I would probably say that we shouldn't be asking those kind of questions because everybody's equal. But the minute you start mentioning gender equality, you start creating a division. I think everybody is equal. We're all capable of doing whatever we're capable of doing. And the question of gender equality, it begs to start differentiating between.
You're saying it creates divides because you were talking about the equality right as a law, but actually, do we need a law or do we just need to live by the rules?
It's a law anyway. It is a law because Equality Opportunity Act covers not only equality, it also covers gender, it just covers the disability, it just covers the race, everything, you know. But I just want to also just point out for the point what the lady actually told earlier is that boys cannot cry, you know, or they're not allowed to cry. But did anybody know that actually that statement has brought in out the generation, especially in our generation now, that a lot of men are actually basically suicidal. Much more men are actually suicidal because of that fact itself, right? Yeah, I know that I'm a student, I'm full-time student, I'm doing sociology and psychology, and actually my assignments are based on that itself. And the statistics says that men are at risk of committing suicide.
Because that kind of upbringing, like men should cry. Is that something? I just want to kind of bounce it out to other men around the table. Is that something, guys? We're talking about gender equality, but actually, do we need an Equal Opportunities Act to be equal, to treat people equally? In our lives, or do we do that naturally anyway? But you've got a point.
When you're saying that men can't cry, both of us go to an all-boys school, and it's different because we have an all-girls school next to us, and I can see the similarities. In a boys' school, if you have your birthday, you get punched to your age, and then they say one for good luck. When you go to a girls' school, they give you presents, give you sweets, give you a happy birthday. Makes no sense.
Okay, so that's really controversial. So do you feel like men are treated more roughly than women then? Is that something that you notice? Are you being, do you get punched to your head for good luck?
No, I don't. They actually give me presents at my school.
You get presents? Okay.
Primary, it changes. When you go to secondary, I advise you
Birthday, and he went to secondary school and he didn't get punched.
Okay, so maybe it's the school that you go to. I mean, I don't know, is there general...
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. I advise you, what school does your brother go to? Same one of... Wait, who's your brother?
Drops the mic. Okay. Okay, so the moment of...
Is he in year 8 or in year 7?
Okay, so one good thing about Talkaoke, I mean there's many good things, is that actually connects people. They knew each other already, there's some connection. Well, welcome madam, we're a pop-up talk show, come and join us. So people just apparently know each other. Do you know his brother?
No.
No, me neither, but anyway, Evie, you had a point.
Oh, I just wondering because you were saying you go to all boys school, and they were saying that your brother got presents, and it was a secondary school. So do you think that maybe being in an all boy environment is like not a good thing?
Okay, so is being in all girls environment a good thing, or in all boys environment a good thing, or are genders to be learning from each other?
I disagree by separating boys and girls. I think we should all be unified with all of that. It's something that we can obviously put a petition forward to say schools should be inclusive to both genders.
Okay.
What we tend to forget also is, yes, we're talking it should be done in that sense, yeah, but there are a lot of different cultures here as well that we tend to forget as well, right? Every culture has their own way of upbringing itself. Yes, there are changes being made right now, but still people in communities, they would actually prefer that children be with girls itself.
Okay, so you're saying, okay,
I'll just say also it's quite interesting, but there's been a bit of research in the fact that girls in all girls schools do really well, and it seems to like remove a lot of biases in terms of subjects. Boys do really well in mixed schools, and then sometimes boys don't like being in all boys environment. So it's an interesting one where like there seems a bit of a divide.
Okay, so you guys, you've left us some very interesting things to think about, but I kind of wondered, are there any final thoughts that you want to take away from this, or maybe some questions they want to like throw into the mix, maybe something we haven't covered yet that you've been thinking about?
I just think everything is all about equality. You cannot discriminate against anybody. Once you start mentioning gender, you start mentioning differentiation, you start opening up a can of worms. We're all equal in all aspects of life. And that's basically my thoughts. Because once you start differentiating, you start creating different scenarios with different people. And we're just all equal, we're all capable of different ability. We have different abilities, but we all people at the end of the day.
Okay, so we shouldn't, actually should we or shouldn't we? I kind of want to bounce this question. Yeah, I mean, should we or shouldn't we separate, segregate? What if it's in the benefit of actually suiting another culture, maybe culturally speaking? I wonder if this gentleman has got any views, or this lady who's coming our way. I feel like you've got some views. Thank you very much, you guys. Come and join us. This is a pop-up talk show. Should girls and boys be separated? Apparently, yes. What are your views on this? Come and get involved. This is a pop-up talk show. What is your view? Boys and girls separate together? What do you think at schools?
So what benefit would it have to separate the boys and girls?
I don't know, but maybe these people will tell us. So do you think people should be together? What do you think?
I think they should be together because, for example, if you go to an all-boys school, boys, like, when we ask the teachers, why can't we combine schools, they say, oh, because you're not going to get focused on your work, you're only going to focus on girls, but really that's not the case. I went to a primary school, I passed all of my SATs, I got higher scores, and then they complain saying, but you're going to only be focusing on girls, you're not going to focus on your classwork.
Are you focusing on girls? Actually, that's another subject for another conversation. But you made a very interesting point about in some cultures, actually, girls together is more appropriate, more suitable. So that would be. Where are you going?
I'm at work. Sorry, so I've got to leave.
So am I. But listen, how's the festival going so far?
Oh, it's lovely. It's very good, and it's nice to take a break out of my tent for 2 seconds.
Okay, where is your tent?
I'm in the adult social care tent.
Oh, you're an adult. We're in the young people section. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. You were nodding, but I'm just going to take your point quickly.
I'm not gonna lie, I want schools to be mixed because of girls and all stuff that.
But do you get distracted by girls?
Educationally wise, I want schools to be like separated because like there's many young girls getting pregnant at such young age, and I think it's schools because of mixed schools. So maybe if we're separated at the end, like when you're grown up, you can concentrate on boys, but like if you're like at this age young, you should be like concentrating on your studies, and then maybe there will be a time for you like where you can think about relationships and stuff like that.
So we've got some controversial points here on the table. Should boys and girls be separated, yes or no? Sometimes culturally it's better the girls are together, separate from boys, but apparently girls are really distractive to boys. They can't focus on their studies, so that's a danger. And also there's an age. Do you have any views on this? Do you find girls girls?
I don't know what this is.
That's okay. Maybe if you speak on the mic, he'll hear you. But before I get some points from you, I want to get some new names around the table. I'm Margot. What's your name?
My name is Fatima Khan.
Fatima, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Ken?
Manu.
Manu, still Manu?
Raisin.
Raisin, thank you.
Gillian.
Laxania.
Collins.
Still Kane.
Evie. And I'm still Margaret. This is a pop-up talk show and you are on it, so welcome and thank you for joining us. So yeah, boys and girls, are girls just really detrimental to boys' schools results? This is kind of the conversation right now. Have you got any views on this? Boys and girls separated together?
What? Separated in what sense? What?
You were talking about being in an old
School-wise, because basically, you know how primary are basically, they're all girls and boys together, you play around with each other.
They should be separated.
Yeah, that's what his point was, that educationally, they should be separated.
What, less distractions then?
Yeah, no distractions.
Okay, do you feel distracted? Is that something that you kind of, it's present in your life as a grown-up and your life as well?
No, after you. No, I haven't experienced it personally for myself, but yeah.
Sorry? So do you feel like actually keeping men and women separate in a workplace, maybe in a school, which is where you are, is better for the overall results?
Sorry, I don't have any comments. Sorry for that.
That's okay. Do you have any comments on this?
When it comes to education, I think there should be separation when it comes to boys and girls. Boys will definitely focus more when it comes to education as well.
Was that true for you when you were at school?
Sorry?
Was that true for you when you were at school?
Experience-wise, you see, no.
Okay, yeah, we've got some points here.
But I find we're constantly saying that boys are getting distracted by girls, but do girls get distracted by boys as well? Does it not run both ways?
Okay, yes.
I would say, in my opinion, my personal opinion, it shouldn't be actually basically separated at all in the first place, because any child who's interested in studying would study, regardless the environment, right? And there's no need for separation. That's why in sociology, social and psychology, we always say it's good to bring them together in order.
So don't they focus more? If there's boys and girls in the same classroom, they both focus more. There's no girls.
Because I go to an all-boys school, everyone starts fighting, starts punching each other because of boys, because it's an only boys school. But she makes a good point. If it's a girl and boys school, everyone will be equal. So I need her as my lawyer. If any of
where is that the equal opportunity act gone? Right? When we talked earlier about gender equality, right? When we separate all boys school and girls school, where is the gender equality gone then? Why do we have the equality act in the first place.
I actually wanted to kind of open this up a little bit because earlier we were talking about the children would make better parents than their parents, and I kind of wanted to, I mean, because you are quite knowledgeable about everything that we're talking about. She agrees, and I wonder whether you could learn something from your own kids. Do you have kids? Yeah. Okay. What can you do? What can you improve on? What can your children teach you that you don't currently do so well?
Sorry.
Can your kids teach you something? And actually, it's a question for everybody. Do you feel like you're missing son? Currently missing. I'm sure he's fine and safe and not actually missing at all. So don't be alarmed. But can you learn something from your children? Yeah. Like what, for example?
You know, I'm from back home. You know, sometimes she learn me some word. Mommy, you are wrong. Yeah, like that. You know, because they are right. You know, they are born here. So that's the things, you know. And sometimes, you know, if I'm angry, angry, he said, "Mommy, be calm. Don't be angry," like that.
Okay, so children are sometimes a bit more sensible than the grown-ups. How about that? You're nodding. Is that true for you?
Yeah, that is true, yeah. But I think sometimes kids have more power than the parents these days.
Exactly.
It's true, yeah. And sometimes if you want to exercise that power, it's hard work. Yeah, so yeah.
I've got a question to you because you haven't said anything. Do you feel like as a child, oh, you're going, can you give us, oh, I understand, but can you put a question to the table, something that we can discuss on your behalf? Thank you very much.
No.
Is there anything that you've been thinking about this week that you like, what was the last argument you had with your friend?
You know, what I'm struggling with right now is I'm a dad, right? My kid's mom, we're not together. I'm a weekend dad. It's hard work. So when I pick my son up, if you want to put some rules in place, he doesn't want to do it because the mom's spending time working against me. So what can we do as a parent who's the only weekend sees the kids at the weekend, work together as a parent who's not separated? Does that make sense?
Okay, so have you, actually I want to bounce it to the younger generation. Would you have any advice, because we already established the kids are quite knowledgeable, they could give good advice to their parents. What advice would you give to him about this?
So you're saying that you and your wife aren't together anymore, but then I feel like you should still keep contact with him, so you do, so like collaborate with her to see what kind of events he hasn't done beforehand with her to do with him, because if you guys like share like him, like you do it like once a week, she does it the other week, he can build more of a relationship with you and her, and he will be like, he won't just say, "Oh, I don't like you, you were never there for me," because you're always there for him, because you can't let your son, you can't always just disown your son and just leave him to the parent. That's bad parenting, and I even know that myself, because I can see parents there and I can see them, and I go like, I watch TV shows like Chicago Med, and then they like just leave the baby there, and then because like they can't do it, they can't be able, they don't have the money to, and they can't be able to support the child. But as you yourself, you can support your child. So I feel like you just need to like separate out, be more, how old is your son?
He's 5 years old, 5.
Okay. Nice age. So you're saying be more collaborative, do your research, and consistent. Is that something? What do you think about this kind of advice?
But I hear that, you're totally right, yeah. But it's very hard to be consistent when the mom is working against me. It says, I don't know if you experienced it.
Have you got similar experience?
No, I don't. But I think it is. I have my brother has quite a young niece who's he has a daughter who's 3 years old, and it can be very difficult when you sort of plan to take her out and she doesn't want to do that. But I think it's probably a thing around age as well, to a certain degree. 5 years old, it's not necessarily going to get the important, like it's not that much time spent together. But I guess it's how you can think of, maybe having backup things you can do in your pocket if the first thing doesn't work out. It's not great advice.
Okay, thank you very much for this. We hope that you enjoyed your time here. Okay, well, good luck with your son and have a lovely weekend. It's all about having good fun as well. So, guys, we can take this conversation any old shape or form or direction we want to. We've got some new people kind of walking by, but I wondered whether you had any views on what we discussed. And actually, that includes, I wanted to come to you and get your point about, do you think that children have more power than parents? Because that's what somebody said. Sometimes. In what kind of situations do you feel like you've got more power than your mom or dad?
I don't know.
Okay. Can mom contribute? Can you clarify?
Okay. When my husband, he used to be a heavy alcoholic drinker, and obviously me as a wife actually explaining him, don't do that, never listen to him. But children, right? Children, even though they are much younger, they have much more power to actually change the parents. You know, she's the one who actually managed to change it, whereby with me, he won't never want to listen himself.
So you're saying the children sometimes have more leverage, whatever the word is. I'm not from this country, sometimes it's leverage. Thank you very much. You're clever, I'm glad you're here. So children have sometimes more leverage with their parents, advising them, please don't drink, because that really annoys me, or whatever it may be. Right, no.
No. Take the beer in the sink.
Okay, more extreme. Not just say it, just do it. Just do the deed. And okay, so you're saying children have more power. You wanted to add something to this?
Because parents, they realize they're affecting their children's lives if they continue. So if a child says like, stop, I don't want this to happen, or in like somebody else's case, get the bottle and drain it down into the water and go like, if you do it again, I'll do the same thing multiple times until you stop. They would do that because they go like, I'm hurting my child and I need to support him instead of being somebody that's just there, just like drinking, just getting like alcohol and just like my child.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I've got some interesting people and interested people looking very beautiful over there. But guys, oh hello, we've got clergyman there as well. Unless it's a costume, I don't know, but it looks pretty genuine to me. We've got some conversations on the table about children having more power than their parents and that kind of stuff. I thought we had more people going there, but we don't currently. Okay, you have to go. I understand that, but so we covered quite a lot of like children stuff here and equality. Okay, we can talk about governments, we can talk about something else. Is there anything, because you guys have been really fantastic actually, and is there anything you'd like to pose to the table or any final thoughts you'd like to bounce to us?
Yeah, right, something about children, especially young carers, children who have more responsibilities in household because the parents are not well, right? There is something that actually is not looked into it, and especially now secondary schools do that, but actually primary schools still don't do that. They should actually look more into it to support those children because they are much more vulnerable in education as they have much more extra workload for the age to do.
Okay, so don't overlook children because they're just children. Actually, schools should take responsibility to check whether children have any caring responsibilities and really look into that. So thank you very much for your contribution. It's been really, really great having you around the table. Yeah, it's stopped raining in the meantime, so I feel like we can kind of move out and then we can maybe tackle the government. Guys, shall we make a little move forward? Shall we push the table? Let's do this, why not? Okay, all the while we are Talkaoke, which is a pop-up talk show. We are now going into the open air. That's what we're doing, and a little bit to this side. We've got a policeman over here. He hasn't sat on the table of chat because he's working. There's a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of volunteers roaming around. There's some people walking by. We've got these two lovely ladies walking, and I wondered, ladies, do you think you've got, actually, I don't know where my question was going, to be honest. There's a lot of people. Hello, ladies, come and join us. This is a pop-up talk show. You're welcome to tell us any questions, any things you want to discuss. What's your name, by the way?
Talia.
Talia, listen, welcome to the table of chat. Is this your mum with you?
No, that's my mother's friend.
Okay, mother's friend, you are also welcome at the table of chat. Guys, you can sit down. We've been talking about children having more power than parents. We're talking about gaming, we're talking about volunteering, and I wondered, and gardening as well. Are you a keen gardener?
Yes.
What kind of stuff do you grow? Are you a keen gardener as well? It's a no. What do you grow?
Pardon? Pardon?
What kind of stuff do you grow in your gardening? Hello, welcome.
Flowers.
Flowers, okay. Edible flowers or maybe different kinds of flowers. Hello, what's your name?
Nathan.
Hey Nathan, I'm Margot, this is everyone else. I've got a feeling you may know these two guys. But actually, let's get a round of names just in case it's a bit awkward and you don't remember their names.
Names and school.
Share my school, no.
Why would you not share your school? A genuine question.
Because I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I've heard there are some invisible lines in Newham and in other boroughs in London where people don't want to say where they're from. Does that still happen? Is that a thing?
Well, if you're basing on school-wise and like linking it to the government sometimes they don't like, it's just privacy. They don't like it when like they share their information. But if the topic of government, I go to a school where when I was in, I think like when like the year 10s, when year 7, they had food tech, they had all of that stuff. But when I came into year 7, that all went because of the government. And it says that 91% of schools have per pupil school cuts. And like I just go like, the government wants to help the borough with what, but then with the civilians and stuff like that. But then when they're doing it, they don't focus. The people want schools to be helpful because they want education, because they know that if they're from another country and they couldn't have that kind of things, but their children have the opportunity to do it. So that's why they want to build on education. But what do you know? The government always taking people's money.
Okay, you've made quite a lot of interesting points, and I'm trying to kind of unpick that. But in the meantime, apart from Nathan, I've got another new person around the table. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean, welcome. This is a Talkaoke pop-up talk show. I'm Margot, and this is everyone else. We've just done the round of names, so we'll do it later again. But okay, so you're saying that actually the government is out there to take people's money. They don't invest in schools. There are things that are not quite right, and governments should be abolished. And I wonder, what are your views on this? Yeah, governments, it's a good thing or not?
I think the problem is, right, you can have some very incompetent governments. So I think he made a reasonable point, because there have been massive cuts to educational funding for the past several years. And I mean, Boris said the other day that they have 26 billion pounds in the treasury that we don't really need, so he's going to reduce taxation for the top 2% from 45 to 40%. But when we've had 9 years of austerity already, is it really a good idea to reduce taxation from people? Because the thing is, if we've seen the health sector has been failing because the bursary for nursing has been cut. Junior doctors are getting paid as low as they've been for a very long time because of Jeremy Hunt's incompetence as when he was a health secretary, and with Boris potentially at the helm within the next couple of weeks.
Let me pause you for 1 second, because these guys have been called to go away, which is fine, but because you've made so many contributions to the table, you just started this man on a political rally. Guys, we've got a new mayor of Newham in the making here, just to let you know, and their advisors and prime ministers. But before you guys go, can you give us some final thoughts or questions?
So
keep it short.
So one thing, I need you as my lawyer. I'll give you my contacts, and also
you can exchange details. That's fine.
Yes, and also I think you make really good points, because Boris Johnson, he hasn't really contributed anything to the government, and also Theresa May, she could contribute, but what does she know? She only focuses on Brexit.
Okay, guys, this pop-up talk show had turned very political. How old is he? 12, and you're?
12 as well.
Okay, so 12, and how old are you?
16.
Okay, 16 and 12-year-olds are telling us how the government should run. Have you guys got any ideas what government should do? This is a pop-up talk show, and apparently there's been a lot of spending at school, a lot of cuts to schools and that kind of stuff. And I wondered whether we can carry on talking about that. You guys, you were kind of, your face was doing all sorts of things as he was talking. Any thoughts that you want to share? Anything that you've learned?
I think I'm amazed at the children, actually, the depth of knowledge they have, and that they're following things that most parents don't even have a clue about what they're talking about. So well done.
That's amazing. What's your name, by the way? What's your name?
My name is Adiola.
And my name is Jesse.
Welcome, my name is Margot, and as actually interesting what you're saying and your conversation, because we were saying earlier that kids could be sometimes better parents than parents themselves. What do you think about Jesse?
Kids are better than parents. Well, I think kids. It's the way you say kids can be better than parents. I really appreciate it. I mean, parents just keep their kids safe and all, and sometimes kids when they go older, they can look after themselves. That's my point of view.
I think that's a really good one, and I think you've got you've got a really good point. And I think the more parents look after their children, kind of set good example, then kids can become really good parents themselves. And I wanted to ask you, but since you're over there, do you think that your daughter will be a good parent when she finally steps into your shoes at some point in her life? Do you think should make a good parent, taking your example? You can tell us. We are a pop-up talk show. This is all legit. We are just having conversation. We can also talk about politics. Do you think? Have you got any views on this? We were talking about spending at schools. No, actually cuts at schools. What's your name again?
Sean.
Sean basically is going to be our new Prime Minister. You don't really like Boris Johnson, do you? Anybody here likes Boris Johnson? Don't know. Okay, never mind. So, are you a parent yourself? Can you tell us a little bit about that? How old are your kids?
I have one son. He is 12 years old, and he is just finished year 7. He's going into year 8, and it's a very challenging time for young people at this. I am very worried about my child's safety in Newham.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Lorraine.
Lorraine, I want to bounce it to you because Lorraine is just saying, you were just saying that you're feeling a bit worried about safety of your 12-year-old in Newham. And since we've got a benefit of having younger generation here, do you guys, would you say something to put Lorraine's mind at rest? Or do you also feel like, safety is an issue in Newham? I kind of want to come to you if you have any views on it.
Yeah, I do think safety is becoming a big issue in Newham as there's been more knife crimes and gang attacks in Newham.
And do you think that's something that we can do as a community to make it better, or we just kind of have to surrender to it because that's the world that we live in now?
Well, there are some like boxing clubs that are telling you to drop the knife and pick up the glove. So that might be a really good way to stop knife crime if we increase the amount of clubs there are.
So this is quite an extreme example. Once, hopefully there's many steps where we can intervene before it gets to somebody picking up a knife. And I kind of wonder whether you guys had any ideas what to kind of do to kind of keep it. Yeah, you have.
I think exclusions. We have a high rate of exclusions in Newham, and it's more like a pipeline to prison and gangs. Most children are vulnerable, they're being preyed on, so we need earlier interventions. And personally, I think no more exclusions is the way. We need to ensure that the schools are better equipped, and parents and the children have support themselves. Because if you go to Westfield, for example, it's like a youth zone. Children are filled up on the stairs. I'm like, why are they all hanging there? Last night we had a stabbing in Prince Regent Lane, a 15-year-old. So really and truly, exclusions for me is a bugbear.
Okay, so you feel like an exclusion, yeah? You've got some...
Yeah, I actually don't agree about the exclusions being the problem. It is part of the problem. The major part of the problem is the parenting. There is an absence of people knowing how to parent and understanding what parenting means. I love that we have awake parents in the community. You're one of them, I'm one of them. But there are so many who don't even know what their children are doing today. Yeah?
You've got something to add? I mean, you kind of like listening on the peripheries. I mean, and I wondered whether you had any views on this. You're saying that actually exclusion is a problem, yeah? But I just want to like bring you in. Is there anything that you kind of, are you feeling worried about your security, or do you have any children yourself?
Do you have children?
It's okay, I can see you. You can pretend not to see me, but that's fine. But you've got something to answer to, Lorraine.
Because I actually run a parenting group, and part of what I'm trying to say, like what you said, for example, we have two strands. You know, the fact of the matter is you have parents too who haven't got the strap line, but parents who actually go to seek for. I'll give an example. We run a group for young people. We had a parent come into our group yesterday crying. Her son, he abuses her more or less. And she's been to all the system, to social services, to ask for help. However, she's been for every training parenting course there is, but there's still no help. We have a fantastic service like next door called Head Start, but they're the earlier intervention. Now we need stuff that those who are already imbibed in that thing's happening, where is the support? Because some parents actually are begging for support, but they cannot find that support. So let's be fair that you're right. So how do we help?
I come to you.
No, what she's saying is absolutely on the money, and that there are two strands. And the sad thing is that there are people who fall in the cracks. They fall in between the cracks, and those are the children that end up looking for support and acknowledgement and reinforcement elsewhere, and it's negative reinforcement.
I would like to just kind of bring in maybe there's a policeman over there, and I kind of know that you guys don't get involved in conversation, but I would really appreciate your view, because we're talking about safety in Newham. We've got some parents, we've got some young people on the table voicing some concerns, and I wanted to get if police do you want to just like contribute something? Okay, but you are the future mayor of Newham and then a prime minister. I will vote for you, and also we've got some more parents there and the children. So if you young people feeling safe or maybe not so safe in Newham, I'd quite like to hear from you. But what are your views?
I think, talking from the police point, one of the problems is that...
Sorry, I was saying it's from the police point of view.
No, like on the police point. I sort of think that lots of young people are alienated by the police force. Because the thing is that lots of young people feel, these police will do bad things to us. Oh, they're going to stop and search us. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And there's a bit of a reign of fear and terror among young people that, don't snitch to the police or don't say anything to the police. They'll do this. They'll do that. And so they're seen as like the big brother of the towns, because they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And what I think is needed is for the police to come out into the community and sort of build a stronger relationship with young people, because of the alienation that's built up for the past 10-20 years, seeing like institutional racism within the police force, which some argue is not true, but the fact that there is some is making some young people feel, well, actually the police isn't going to do anything to us, and actually we don't want to listen to the police because they're just against us.
Okay, can I just get a little round of applause for this, because this is quite remarkable, coming from a 16-year-old. Remind us your name?
Sean.
So Sean, the future mayor of Newham and the Prime Minister of United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, you can come closer. If you guys come around a little bit more, then people can come and join in. We're talking, Sean is saying that actually young people it's an ever-perpetuating vicious cycle. Young people feel alienated because of institutional racism and many other things. And police, actually, who is sharing the space with us, they're just next door to us, they need to be closer to the community. We've got some parents here who are really concerned about the safety of their children in Newham, and there's some young people themselves saying, yeah, I don't really feel safe here. There are some places where you can drop your knife and exchange it for for something else. Yeah.
You've got, all right, this this kid here, fantastic, well-spoken, 16 years old. How old do you think this one is?
I don't know. Can you tell us how old you are? Can people guess? I'm not entitled to any opinions in the middle.
How many?
No, you're 17. Okay, 17.
So ask him how old he is.
How old are you?
12.
Okay.
Now, straight away, can you see when that Section 60 is enforced, he's a potential stop and search. He's 12 years old. When that stabbing and shooting happened in Manor Park, I had to let my child go to school that morning knowing that he could potentially be stopped and searched on his way to year 7. How am I to rest comfortable with that?
Okay, I want to bounce it out to other parents. Is that something stop and search or any other security and safety issues are present? Come closer, everyone.
I was wondering so with the police next door, is it important that the police are at events like this, being visible, running things like the Young Cadets? Because you mentioned it's about, them being on good terms with the community. So what could they be doing more of to, obviously alongside pulling back on things like stop and search?
Well, what they could be good of is in primary, high school, police would come in and talk to us about the dangers, and then they would tell us if we wanted to, they would give us exercises. That's what they should do in every school, even secondaries, because they know you're more likely to get stopped and searched because so many young people are now carrying knives, getting killed and stuff like that. And it's scary because I'm also part of Talkaoke and Head Start and young youth management, so I have to always I'm always busy, so I have to always be focused on what I can improve on the area, because I did see Safe Haven, the one in Stratford, because I know Stratford is unsafe, so I did see Safe Haven there, me and my team, and then we went to talk to TFL because we did a TFL survey about why people feel unsafe, and they said because the 678 and the 325 always comes late, as we share it with St. Angeles, and St. Angeles get 4 and we only get 2.
I just want to bring new people in because you kind of guys are listening, and Lorraine has made an excellent point. Hello, welcome. You have to steal him. Okay, you're off again. We're talking about safety in Newham. Is that something that you guys are affected by? Do you feel safe in Newham? No? Because that's you are? Sorry? You can come and have a chat, because let me explain the context. We are a pop-up talk show, so guys, if you kind of come round so we can get these guys in as well, and you ladies as well, welcome. This is a pop-up talk show talking about safety in Newham. Should police be closer to the community, bring him? Me too, but guess what, I can't leave this place, but I'm open to a proposition of cheesy chips from anyone who's willing to bring them. Anyway, come closer. So this is pop-up talk show. We were earlier talking about actually parents learning something from their kids. I don't know if you're parents yourselves, whether you will be parents, that kind of stuff, but parents actually got a lot to learn from kids themselves. We were also talking about volunteering. Is that a good way of engaging with community? Also, we were talking about growing vegetables. Apparently aubergines are pretty easy to grow. How about that? Who knew? And also we've got future mayor of Newham, Shan, here, and also a future prime minister who's got some very good views about Boris Johnson's politics. So what are your names? What's your name?
Rosie.
Rosie, and since we've got new people around the table, come closer, just move round, so everybody can get a seat. Oh, hello, he's waving. I think I saw you passing before. Yeah, it was like a million hours ago. You were younger then, and also your beard was shorter, and mine as well. Wow. Okay, come closer. Okay, so we've got Rosie. Come closer so we can get involved in the conversation. This is a pop-up talk show. We've got Rosie.
What's the matter?
It's a pop-up talk show. You're on it. What's your name? Okay, what's your name?
What's what?
What is your name? Graham, yeah. Oh, we met the other day. Yeah, okay, yesterday. Hey, that's fine, Graham. We've got
Lorraine.
Come closer, guys. This is some kind of like a bulk stop. Come round. This is like loads of room there. It was raining earlier. Yeah, sit down here. Okay, so we've got Lorraine.
Yeah, my name's Osman.
My name, Teresa.
Sandra.
Mary.
Adiola again.
I know your name already, but these guys don't.
The name's Jesse.
Hello, Jesse.
Kane.
Evie.
Nathan.
And Sean. Future Mayor of Newham. And I'm Margot, so this is the Talkaoke. We were talking about equality. Should men and women be separated? Apparently, it can really impact the results in education. Some people say boys and girls together, what can happen there? We were talking about what's the earliest you've ever had a boyfriend? Should the age of consent be raised or lowered? I don't know. That was one of the conversations. Oh, yeah, Graham?
Yeah, don't that have an impact on your social skills if you're segregated in schools?
You say so it does or it doesn't? In what way, Mary?
Well, I think boys and girls should be in the same unit class, yeah? Because they will learn from each other. Some boys haven't got sisters, some girls haven't got brothers. So therefore, meeting the opposite sex is good for them. They would not be afraid to meet each other outside socially.
Okay, yeah.
I used to go to an all-girls school, and all the boys from all the old boys' school used to hang out outside our school. So it made no difference really whether you separated them or not, because they'll still come to your school, and the girls will still go to the boys' school. So I don't think it makes any difference really.
Okay, so separation actually can. Yeah. Okay, Laurie.
I've been to all girls primary school, all girls secondary school, and I am totally for segregated education. However, when it comes to enabling social skills and social development, there are so many clubs and events and participation groups that they can be involved in. It's not about the education. The education part has nothing to do with social integration.
Okay, that's a controversial point. The reason being is that you guys went like, I don't know, Rosie, have you got any views on this?
I also went to a girls' secondary school, but I kind of disagree because I feel like we should be preparing children for their future, and in their future at work, they're not going to be segregated, they're going to be working with everyone, so...
There's work and there's education, they're two different things.
Okay, so is work and education two separate things? Usman, you there's a side conversation. Okay, guys, say it on the phone, on the microphone. It's kind of like a phone, but it's a microphone. I don't know why it's called that. Why is it called, why is microphone called microphone? Anyway.
Small.
Does this look small to you? I mean, in other contexts, that'll be terrifying. Anyway, yes, okay, Sham, guys.
The internal processing unit is smaller. So, on the point of segregated education, so I've had peers who went to my primary school. Some went to segregated, some went to mixed schools. What I've seen of those who went to segregated schools are much worse at interacting with other females. Struggle. I feel that they have a more aggressive, masculine, macho attitude towards women, and they're more. I mean, speaking to them, so I'm a hardcore intersectional feminist, and I have massive arguments with them because they say some very sexist things because they don't know how to interact with women properly. They make sexist comments about people like Millie Bobby Brown and Kylie Jenner, and they make really horrendous comments because they never interacted with women, so they don't say the right things about women. So the things they say, they've not learned and developed with other women and how you should behave with other women, and they've just become absolute pillocks.
Okay, Shan, okay, guys, let me just unpick this a little bit, because there's been quite a lot of very excellent points that you made, very dense conversations. Guys, you can come closer, come round, so more people can join. This is a conversation about gender equality, and God, like, where do I even begin? But I'm interested in, like, masculine, feminine energy and kind of, segregating boys and girls. And we've got new faces around the table, but I don't know what these faces are called. What are your names?
Javon.
Javon and?
I'm Megan.
Megan, nice to meet you. And we've got, can you sign your name? We were wondering earlier whether sign language on Talkaoke table would work. Guys, okay, you're hungry. Okay, cheesy chips for me, one. Thank you, Graham, you can sit in. Guys, what are your views on segregation, men and women, and feminism? Apparently you argue with feminists all the time in your spare time.
Because we started talking about segregation in education. So we have kind of gone off on a tangent here, and there was a statement that was made which was quite generalized, and this young man, you need to be aware that you cannot call every gentleman that goes to an all-boys secondary school aggressive, that was a statement. You have to be very careful about making those statements.
Okay, is that true? You've got a point.
I would make a slightly different comment on what you said. I think when you said because it's happening because they have no contact with women, I think it's more a contributing factor than the actual cause. It doesn't. There you go. That's all.
Okay, so you guys had a conversation. So actually, what you were saying, Laurie, is actually it's very easy to like generalize, but sometimes there's an overwhelming disproportion of behaviors that kind of makes you go like, wow.
Isn't that what we accuse the police of doing when they react to it? Isn't that so? It can't be okay for us to do it, and then it's not okay for the police to do it. Where's the line?
Okay, where is the line, Graham? You've got some views, but before you say something, I need to remove this hair from your chin because literally it's just bugging me. Do you know what I mean, though? It's like here. You can keep it. It's here. No worries. I'm here to have your back. Don't worry about it. It's okay. So it was a all right. Yeah. Yes.
You didn't just pull that from my head, did you?
It must have just fallen from your golden locks, because it was just the same hair. Yeah, exactly. So generalisation.
Well, I mean, I think part of the police job involves generalisation anyway, because this is how it works, You get a general pattern of what the people that are going to perpetrate crimes, and that's how part of the job is. It don't always work right. It's not one size fit all.
Exactly.
But it has a good success rate, which is why it's used in education, healthcare, the police, military. It's all your generalisation works more than randomised.
I kind of want to open it up though, because you're making like some really strong points here, and we've got like the silent back of the room. Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Thanks. Okay, you're performing. Jesus, what are you performing? Can you reveal?
With the reggae choir, one of the best choir I've ever been in, the reggae choir.
Where are you performing?
We're on the main stage, so please come and watch the reggae choir performing about 4 or 4:30.
What even is the time now? I mean, happy people don't count time. And you're going, guys. Before you go, can you give us some final thoughts? Anything that that we were discussing that's gonna have you thinking, or maybe you want to bounce a new question on the table? Anything? Android system tells me, and it's 14:59 apparently. Please give us your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is have a good day and please keep it safe.
Okay, do you agree with that, with people having a good day? I think we can get on board with that. Thank you very much, girls. Thank you, you've been wonderful. Stop by again. Rita, welcome. Are you going to do some singing for us today? Maybe you will. Yeah, why not? I mean, listen, okay, it's too early for singing just yet, but yeah, this is us. So, guys, listen, welcome. Okay, we can cross out. Rita, come and grab a seat. By the way, do you know everyone? Let's do a round of names, because literally we've got some new people here, and we've got you as well. Come and join us. This is a pop-up talk show. Welcome. I'm Margot. What's your name? Montan. Well, welcome. When we've got
Rita here.
Michael.
Javon.
Kane.
Evie. Sean.
Anna Morgan has rigged there on the camera, and we were just talking about lots of different things here, and you guys were here for some of it, you were here for some of it, and we've got some new people at the table, and we can take this conversation anywhere we want, so don't feel pressured to discuss anything in particular at all. We were talking about gender equality, we were talking about separating boys and girls, we were talking about, oh gosh, what people want to become in the future. That was the subject from yesterday. We were talking about veganism, vegetarianism, growing vegetables. We were also talking about benefits. Benefits? No. I think I just need cheesy chips immediately. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But you've got a point, Michael.
You talked about people talking about what they want to do. Yeah. How about? Sorry. Hold the mic. Sorry. How about how to find what you want to do in the future?
Wow, what a question. I think we can have some insights. Hey, hello, what's your name?
Faith.
Faith, what are you eating? It looks delicious.
It's a muffin.
It's a cup muffin. It's a cross of both. It's like a cronut, but just better. Listen, so you've made a really interesting point. So there's a question. What do you want to be when you grow up? What's your future going to be? But how are we supposed to know? Who can tell us what our future can be? How do you know? How do you know to become a successful whatever you want to become? What do you want to be when you grow up, finally, one day? And that goes for you guys.
An actor or something.
An actor. Okay, so can anybody here have any advice for, what's your name?
Omar.
Omar, come and sit down. This is a pop-up talk show, and actually you may get some beneficial advice here. How can we get the advice from other people, or from where can we get it from, on becoming what we want to be? Any advice on acting?
Well, well, it's not about acting, but I live with someone who does psychological tests so people can find out whether they'll be good at leading a company or be good, like, know what their jobs are. And I find it a bit, I don't like the fact that she does this. Every time I do something, she'll be like, oh, that's because you're like this psychologically. And I worry it reinforces patterns of behavior, because she's read me as this psychological thing, so I should work with this people in this sector or this thing, and I really hate that. So I don't think we should use psychological tests.
So psychological tests may be a little bit prescriptive.
One is, I would say something that my teacher said to me when I was applying for college. And the teacher at that college, I didn't know what I wanted to study. I didn't know what I wanted to study, really. And the person at the college said, what do you enjoy the most? And they also said, if you don't know now, that's also okay. And so it really made me feel comfortable in what my interests were at that specific time.
Okay, so actually not knowing what you want to do is also okay. I want to get some cross-generational views there, but I want to come to you. Is that, I mean, because the question kind of came from you, but I wonder whether it's something that you ponder as well, your future and what you may want to be.
On that question, I don't really have an answer, but yeah, I'm figuring out it's fine to not have an answer, and generally you just have to, although it sounds weird and like you shouldn't do it, and we've been told our entire lives not to go with the flow, you have to pre-plan, but going in the flow and just doing something while you wait, and maybe you'll find something while you're doing other things, who knows,
So maybe it's not about a clear path, maybe it's about all the other things that kind of happen on the way. You might not know how they link up. Maybe you don't need a psychology test to tell you what you're... Are you sure you want to be an actor? Where's the certainty coming from? It's great.
I'm just certain about it, I know. So it's coming from inside, I think, yeah.
And is that something like Rita? I mean, because obviously you represent a slightly different generation, and how did you know that who to become when you grow up? I mean, have you achieved that?
Yeah, I always, when I was in school, I used to see how the teacher behaved with children, and I noticed a couple of points. I said, I will be a teacher when I grow up, and I will sort it out this problem for the kids. Just for example, kids, they couldn't do the homework, and they says, oh, my parents went out and I came late from there, I couldn't do that. And the teachers, they don't listen, they just punish them for no reason. But I think that was very cruel. I decide I will listen to why the reason, and I give the chance to child to do that. That's why I decide I always want to be teacher. And I'm working at the moment in the school as a teacher, and kids loves me because I listen their stories and find the solution and give them a chance. Otherwise, they won't do anything.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of teaching do you do?
I work with the primary children, and I work with the special need education.
Okay, that's really fantastic. And I kind of want, okay, we've got a question to you.
Well, I have a question for you, because he said he wants to be an actor. Has he ever done any drama classes or?
You can ask him directly.
Have you? Well, I'm looking at him. So.
Yes, I did drama at school, so.
And you enjoyed, obviously.
The reason why I asked, because I went to theatre school for 3 years, but I never studied drama at school. I did it outside.
And how did that work?
In my opinion, it doesn't matter if you've done before or not. If you have interest in from the heart, you know that what you want to be, and you will put the full effort in there, I'm sure you can do that. But don't think negative. Always think positive and go for it. Give a chance. Then you don't regret it.
I think that's a good point, and also I think what you said earlier is like sometimes what we need. Hello guys, you can come and get involved. We're talking about the futures, what you want to be when you grow up, and that includes you, sir. Don't know if you class yourself grown up. I mean, by the by, but it's optional. You can come and sit down. But I think what you said earlier. You're going? No, you sit. You are hogging 2 chairs. Seriously, Rita, come on now. That is not nice. Okay, there'll be some new people. Yeah. But sometimes teachers, do they listen enough? Do we get enough encouragement from the outside environment in making those decisions, what we want to be? And actually spending 3 years studying acting, is that enough? Is that, or is that enough to become an actor? Or is it something that you just need to be passionate about and that is just what makes you? And also, I just wanted to ask you as well, have you got any clear ideas as to what you may want to be in the future? And I also want to ask you as well about your future. So maybe I'll just come to you first. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm a full-time mom. Yeah. So you talked about gender equality, so I think you should have strong family values. So if your mom and dad encourages you and you have a good society family background, that would influence you to pursue your future dreams. Yeah.
So parenthood, that's an interesting career choice. I don't know if anybody here has kind of considered that as a career choice. Have there been any points here, Evie?
I was just wondering, because as a full-time mum, I think sometimes, do you feel ever that you should be paid for the work you do? Because I mean, if you're with a partner, obviously that allows your partner to go off and have a career, and actually, so you're doing a lot of work that they don't have to do. How do you feel like? Do you enjoy it? Do you feel like we should have some way of like paying people to do this care work? Because it takes a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah. You've got.
I'm a mother myself, and I also work, and I think it's having the option. I think if somebody wants, it's about having the option, and every person has their own passion and desires for themselves. So I think somebody that wants to be a full-time mother is a massive responsibility, and I think somebody that's a mother and wants to work is also an option, and I think neither is lesser or more, because while the child is not being taken care of, somebody's taking care of them, whereas a mother that's full-time caring is there with the child full-time. So I think it's having the option of both.
Okay, so having an option of both, because parenting it's a viable career, maybe sometimes not as well paid as maybe work somewhere, I don't know, in an office. And actually I wanted to ask you, Shan, would you ever consider parenthood as your career choice?
I think it's very limiting. That's the problem. It's very limiting, and you're not able to sort of be free and do what you want to do. I mean, so I've spent years trying to work out what I want to do, and so I started attending university open days, like when I was in year 9.
1 second. He just said, what did you say? Parenting. It's a very limiting career choice. So think about that. All right. Parenting. What a limiting career choice. Okay, but anyway, you carry on.
So I've been going to lots of different sort of like university open days, trying to find out what I want to do, and it's not very easy to find out what you want to do, because the thing is, until you're older, until you've properly experienced what you want to do, it's not very easy to find out what you want to spend the rest of your life working a 9 to 5 doing.
But you were saying sometimes it's okay not to know what you want to do, and that's cool too. You guys, I'm going to come to you, but Kane?
I mean, yeah, you said, Sean, that you think that parenting can be a limiting career choice. I think that's maybe a reflection on the British workplace. That actually, I do a job which is mainly women work in. So I work for a charity and I work in fundraising, and it's.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pause you there, Kane, because you know the rules. Please come back. Give us some final thoughts. What are you going to walk away with? Because you made some really excellent points here. You can bounce a question to us, or you can tell us your final thought.
Well, I think parenting isn't a limited choice. You have to have a strong foundation, strong education. When you finish with your children, you would need to pursue careers. If you want it, you cannot just sit down and do nothing. So I don't sit down and do nothing. I do a lot of things. Thank you.
Give a round of applause. I mean, this is a very busy parent. Thank you very much for your contributions. I kind of wanted to like very quickly ask you guys, have some thoughts, have you got any thoughts about parenting as well? Is there something that you would ever consider as your career choice? Or would you rather be an actor like Omar here? Maybe you've got some acting tips that you can share out. Have a think about it. Kane, carry on.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to compromise. Like it should be a case that you can be a parent and also do a job, and that your job should be able to support you to do both, if you want to.
And so acting, you said that you've done acting before. Well, no, you've done 3 years of drama school, but you're a parent as well. I mean, is acting a viable career? Is that something you'd recommend to Omar and other people, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's because one of the things that you said was if you're passionate about something, then you work hard. And I think those two are very crucial characteristics to have, because a lot of people are passionate about something, but they're not prepared to put in the hard work to get to where it requires in that specific field. So my final thoughts are passion and hard work is a very crucial characteristic to have.
Okay, give a round of applause. So, apparently passion. Thank you very much. We are Talkaoke, we are a pop-up talk show, and you are on it, sir. You can come and join us anytime. We've got a new person around the table. Let me just take your name.
Mohammed.
Mohammed, welcome. Hello, come and join us. This is a pop-up talk show. You're welcome. Omar here wants to be an actor. I don't know if you guys have any acting tips. You look like a celebrity. Rita, where are you going? Rita. Listen, give us some final thoughts or questions that we should be talking about on this table, and I'll come to you for your point.
No, whatever career you choose, it depends on the family, your parents. Like if the family is more educated in the law business or medical or this or that, they want their children to be go for the better education, or which they can do that. But children, they have I know they know that in which angle their children are doing, and they can do that, and therefore parents give them full support.
Okay, so family is quite an influential force in people choosing their future careers. I don't know whether family had anything to do with your career choices. I'll come to that very soon, but let's have a think about it. But you had a point earlier. Thank you very much, Rita. You know we can come back anytime, right? You coming back before 6 o'clock for a little sing, yeah? You're gonna do some singing for us? Okay, cool. Right, over to you.
On the point of hard work and all the encouragement around you when you're choosing a job, I feel like sometimes, even with all the hard work and all the qualifications under the belt, it's also about opportunity.
Okay.
And
that's something that's missing at the moment. It's not enough opportunity.
There is not enough opportunity, especially in places with so many people like London and all the big towns. Things like opportunity and drive aren't the only things that are necessary for a job, I think.
Okay, so there's a question of opportunity. We're talking about career choices. We're talking about parents parenting as a viable career choice. We're talking about people's future plans. I don't know what you want to be when you grow up. I don't know what you want to be. And there was also a question of how much family has got to do with people's future choices. And I want to bring you in as well. Are you famous?
No.
You are now. You're on Talkaoke. We're all famous now. But have you got any views on the career? And the opportunity as well.
I'm a hair and makeup artist, and my family are pretty cool and open with it. I just think with parents, it's all about if your children are happy, if your children are secure, doing what you want to do. If you're going to study, if you're going to work. Education isn't for everyone, So sometimes you need to have a hands-on job, and some people work better in that way.
That's very interesting, because we had a lot of conversation about education, and Sean, who's going to be a future Prime Minister of United Kingdom, meet him now, get your autographs now, get them in the bank. Do you think that actually education isn't for everyone? I mean, that's a very controversial view, I would maybe argue. Do you think education is for everyone, or maybe not for everyone?
Yeah, I think education should be open to everyone, but it might not be for everyone. So some people might not choose to go down the educational way. they might choose a different path away from education.
So is there kind of level of opportunity available out there, which is something that you were talking about? Is that a level playing field in terms of opportunities? Is that you've got something to add?
Well, as someone who had to travel into London to do a certain course, because I was living in Surrey, and it took 3 hours there and 3 hours back every time I wanted to go to school, and I don't know, it changed a lot. Like, I had to wake up at 5 a.m, get a bus to the next station so I could get a train early enough to get into London. And this on education, I feel like the way education is right now may not be for everyone, and it's not so much that education isn't for everyone, it's more like the way education is set up right now, it's comprehension, right? You read and you do an activity based on what you read or what the teacher told you, and there's no other types of learning generally, I feel like.
And may I just ask you, like, what kind of course you did? I mean, if that's not a secret, I think I'll be quite intrigued, like, which course you decided is, like, worth getting up 3 hours on the train. I mean, I don't know, like, what was it?
I did a professional cookery at University of West London, and yeah, it was because where I was, there was no courses. I could only, unless I wanted to go to university, which would have been somewhere else and cost a lot, I had to come into town where they had courses that for apprentices and stuff. Like, there were none in my area, so I had to.
So that was like a necessity. And break my heart, actually, as you uttered. Where do you do your hair and makeup? Because I'm just kidding. I don't know if you can tell, but I probably could do with both. Actually, yeah. All right, cheers. Listen, give us your final thoughts that you're going to leave us with, or anything that you heard here that got you thinking.
Final thoughts. Live in peace, live in harmony, love each other, treat each other with love, compassion, and the same.
Okay, I think this is a really good parting thoughts to part on. I think in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to swap some Talkaoke hosts. We're going to trial a new Talkaoke host. So guys, in case you were wondering, a job of a Talkaoke host is not an easy one. It's not easy. You see what I've got to put up with. I'm all tangled up in stuff. There's lots of chat on the table, but we're going to try Kane in the middle and see how the conversation goes. So give him a round of applause. We're just going to do a little swap around. You can go over or under. If you go over, you need to go over the speaker leg.